this next topic is similar to kind of what I was just saying, but Meta, so the company that owns Facebook and Instagram, and NBA, they've reached a multi-year partnership,
Right.
which involves like the multiverse and VR and all those kind of cool futuristic kind of immersive technologies.
Yeah.
But this will allow fans to be immersed into the game. So for All-Star Weekend, for example, there's like a 3-point shootout that you can do in like VR as an event in a metaverse type of format. Or typically you'll be able to like sit at a game in this meta quest or whatever they're calling it and watch from like courtside, which adds a whole nother dimension to the fan experience and to fandom. Yeah. What do you think of that? Is something you'd try out?
Oh, I think, I mean, I'd have to look at it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think the thing that I appreciate about the NBA is that it's very innovative.
Forward thinking.
You know what I mean? It's like there's a very heavy undertone of like sports and tech and like coming together. And I feel like the NBA has done such a good job of like working with its partners to like help come up with like, you know, the most unique innovations, you know, that people have ever seen.
Yep.
Right. And we were talking about this a little bit before, but you know, the experience of, you know, putting like a POV camera as like what you're seeing during the game is like as if you were a player on the court, like watching around. Like that would be very incredible. Like the Brooklyn Nets have like a technology that they've implemented. I don't know if it's like super official or anything yet, but like it's a product that they use to like bring you literally into the game. Which, well, not literally, but like you understand what I mean.
As literal as
as literal as it gets. But it would be very cool to do something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I do think that, you know, one of the coolest things that we saw, and I'm sure that you saw it the other day, was I think it was like some type of like conference or part of the All-Star Weekend or something like.
Yeah, they have a new tech conference that the NBA is kind of like speaking to. So unveiling new things every year. And
which is so cool. Where you could literally like scan somebody and then like replace that, like you watch a highlight of like, let's call it like Kevin Durant making a shot or like LeBron going for a dunk or Giannis like making a good play or something. And like you can just like superimpose like your scanned avatar to like replace Giannis, so it looks like you are making this dunk. I'm like, that is so cool.
It will take over social media.
Like,
clips of like you dunking on like a 7-foot player or something.
Yeah,
like, that's amazing.
Like that is so incredibly cool, and it's one of those things where, you know, you look at other leagues and you're like, how do you not see this as like pushing the boundaries forward?
Man, imagine doing that in the NFL.
Like, and exactly, like
being like tackling someone or being tackled as your avatar. That would be so cool.
Yeah, like it would be incredible. And I think again, like this is just scratching the surface as to like how you get, you know, how you start innovating in sports other than and technology other than just statistics or finding new ways to comment on.
Or better replays and like slowing things down. Like that stuff is cool and that led to this kind of advancement, but like let's push this thing as far as we can at this point. You know?
Like how do you put yourself in a position where, you know, you're literally we were chatting about this. Like virtual courtside. Where it's like you can like put on a headset or glasses or something like that and you can literally have like a reserved courtside seat. And it would be so cool. It was what you were saying. It's if you can get like a few of your buddies or something, and like you're sitting, it feels like you're sitting courtside at, you know, a basketball game, and you're sitting alongside your friends, and
you can all hear them. Yeah, you're talking, you're watching the game together, pretty much, but not in the same place. I feel like that is like, if we talk about like the future of tech with sports, it's like immersive experiences, right?
Yeah.
But like one thing I wanna speak to quick, because like we've kind of been a bit. We've been a bit reserved about the metaverse, I'll say. Like, we've kind of had our comments. We've talked shit. I was looking for the right word. We've talked shit about the metaverse before, but, like, I kind of want to backtrack a bit just in terms of, I don't think I would use it for just, like, social experiences of just being at home and sitting on a headset, putting on my headset and chatting with my boys or in a work environment. But when it's something like, if I'm an avid sports watcher, I think that's where it could make sense.
There's a ton of value.
Right?
Yeah. In that like unknown world, right?
Yeah.
There's so much about the metaverse that like again, like when we talk shit about it, it's like in its most basic form
Pretty
right
much.
now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing really.
Almost like an online chat room, but you can see people. And
To
like
me, that's
cool,
no different
sure,
than like, was it Habbo Hotel? Do you
Yeah,
remember that?
yeah.
It's the same fucking thing. You know?
IMBU and all that.
Yeah. All that stuff. Where we can go with this is like, how does this change like the workplace? How does this change, you know, sports and tech? How does it change your experience as a fan? I feel like there's so much within that we aren't even seeing yet, that I love to just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you, like 30 years ago, if you
Bruh.
told me I could be Michael Jordan
Yeah.
and put myself into the game and dunk on somebody or something, make a clutch shot, or like relive like the biggest shots in history as myself,
They would think you're
it,
psychotic. Yeah.
they would be like, "What are you talking about?" You wouldn't even be able to comprehend that.
No.
But like now, it's like that is a reality, and I think like being a fan of like sports in general at this time with this innovation unlocking, I think is like a very good sign as to what things are going to be like in the next generation of sports.
So let me ask you this, like practically speaking, the barrier to entry for this metaverse stuff is, it's a little bit pricey, right?
Yeah.
So you still need to buy a headset. Let's say that the cheapest one is like $200-$300, which fair price. What would it take for you to buy a headset and use this stuff regularly? Like, what would they have to include for you to actually make that move? Because right now we're talking about how exciting it is, but like I'm still not about to buy this headset.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of what we were just talking about. Like I think like
the party stuff, like the social, right?
The isolated experience of just like getting a headset and watching a game like isn't there for me.
No,
but like what you can include in that is like a subscription package, or like if you buy the headset and you buy this package, you will be able to watch all games in your local, like basically getting like a league pass
with
integrated into that, so that and like through the NBA app have like custom opportunities or something that you could like engage with as a fan. For example, like what are these technology innovations look like in like user interface or something like that. Like what I would say that's probably where like I think the social aspect is something that's very interesting as well. Like I knew that like if I did this and I bought the headset, bought the subscription, had access to like these really cool innovations, how is it going to be marketed towards me and the people around me so that we're all getting it at the same time?
That's my big thing.
You know what I mean? There needs to be a social aspect of it that I think would make me really want to take part for sure.
I think I'm 100% the same way. Like I'm not with any console either, like the PS5, like I'm not just going to have it not have multiplayer at all and then just play on my ones. Like that's cool, but the reason I bought it is because my friends had it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that helped me think, okay, I can play with people, I can play online and have a funner experience.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be the guy, and there's a bunch of these people, so shout out to y'all, but I'm just not going to be the person that has a VR headset and is chilling on their ones at home. You know? It's just not that fun to me. But like all of my other friends or like my close friends buy them. If you buy it, Odie buys it, all the Mandem, stuff like that. Then it's like, yo, I need this headset.
Yeah, we got
$500. I don't care. I need this headset.
Totally.
I paid $800 for the PS5. Like,
yeah. And I think that is how you reach people like us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to sell me on the social aspect of it versus the actual tech itself.
100%.
It's like the tech is dope.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the NBA. I'm a big fan of sports in general, but like I'm a traditional guy.
Yeah.
If I'm watching it on TV and I'm just watching the game,
that's enough. You've done it your whole life. That's enough.
That's enough for me. But like you need to market something like this to me to be like a social integration and why that's important for, not just me, but my friends also want to get it.
Man, this new generation, Gen Z and whatever is after them, is the amount of stuff they have available.
They're set up, man. I wish I had half the shit that this new generation.
Half.
You know what I'm saying? Like even I remember watching like I don't know, like an episode of like Pokemon or something back in the day.
Then,
where like they had like Ash was like talking to Professor Oak or something like that through a computer screen. Like you like called him through it. I'm like, man, that would be so cool if that could be a thing. And now it's just like everyday life. I'm like, man, that's so sick.
If you even think about it, back when like Star Trek came out, like they had that idea, right? Of like being able to talk to someone through a screen, and it's like now it's the easiest, most ubiquitous
yeah, like that
thing
is,
of tech, you know?
that is a bare minimum.
Yeah.
there, right.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Like, I don't know, we're gonna be like 70 years old or something, just like back in my day,
Yeah.
when people are flying cars happening, all this, and
Yeah, it's like we don't need this. I'm not looking at this, and I'm not a hater, by the way, because like a lot of old heads will be like, just give me this, and we don't need any of this flashy stuff, and like that works for you. But like I'm looking at this stuff now, more so hating from the point of being like, man, I'm jealous that you guys get all this stuff. This shit,
it's not a hate at all. It's a jealousy.
this shit is
like,
so sick.
if I could order Uber Eats while in high school, just like,
man,
come on,
like yeah, like it's like I can click
simple stuff like that.
You
like,
know,
come on.
the new generation doesn't understand how lucky they are. With like the perfect time to like have access to like Uber and
Everything.
Uber Eats,
Everything.
like, you know, there's new tech and sports stuff.
Chat GPT stuff that writes your essay for you.
Yeah, like
all
where
this
was
stuff
that?
is just
Where's like, man, like you know how many essays I've written, and I'm like, oh fuck, I wish I had like
help.
You know,
help.
I wish something that, but
help me.
But again, though, like what does this mean for like the future, right?
Yeah.
Like I heard something, and this sounded like so obvious to me, but it's like when you turn on like the map or something, your GPS in your car, even if you kind of know where you're going still, like that takes away like an element of like cognitive focus, right? So you're not thinking necessarily about like, oh, okay, this is where this thing is, or this is, you're more so saying like, what is the GPS going to tell me to get from point A to point B? And you're not really thinking about anything else other than just listening to GPS and focusing on like not crashing your car kind of thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I see this as like another thing where it's like, what is Chat GBT gonna do to like, you know, you're removing elements of like what got you here in the first place, like critical thinking.
You know what's a very stripped down, simple example of that is, have you ever pulled out your calculator on your phone for like 4 + 4, some simple ass shit?
I will 1,000% admit that like I do that shit.
I do that. You know the answer, but it's so readily available that you're just like, let me double check.
Yeah.
And that's like a small example of kind of what you're saying, because like, the Chat GPT, it's like if you're relying on this, now your critical thinking skills, now your creative writing skills is all kind of, you're relying on AI to supplement that.
Yeah. So like, what are you using your brain for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, yeah.
Like we are, you know, people are saying robots are taking over the planet. It's like, no, technology's turning us into robots.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's like, how do you navigate that in the future? People are just going to maybe use their brains differently. Like maybe just the way that we operate things will change, you know? And the way we see.
We're being reduced to emotions and like our senses and hunger and pain as like the only things that like keep us human.
Oh,
you know
man.
what I mean?
That was deep. That was pretty deep, actually.
We are getting very down this intense rabbit hole. But I find it very interesting.
Yeah,
right?
that's the bounce back.
Bouncing back here, like I think technology has such a critical role in society today.
Of course.
But I think it's how we push ourselves and use our brains to like think about things a little bit differently, and how to use our brains in a way that still makes us like relevant as humans. It's like, weird as that sounds.
It's a big picture too of things, right? It's like, for example, like when you always kind of need to look at how are things being used and like what's the future implication.